Oh, YouTube. Hope I was doing well. Worked all night last night. I woke up. A couple hours ago and decided I'm gonna be doing a boot comparison. Long time in the waiting. This review has been in the midst for months, really waiting for the perfect time, and I think now is the perfect time because I would say that these Frank's Patriots are fully broke in. I would argue that they are fully broke in. Wore these last night. Rained all night. My feet stayed dry, which that's probably the result of me, having these properly conditioned and properly waxed. These are 9.5 double E. The V100 lug sole. Pretty strong, but still pretty pliable. The sole is, as you can see, have the rubber, or not rubber, the leather heel stack, leather midsole, leather insole. Now these are Frank's quote-unquote economy boot. And eventually I'm going to be doing another long-term review after like a year and a half, maybe even 2 years, of these Frank's Patriots. And a thought that came across my mind is this boot right here for $360. I think the Frank's had just dropped the price to $359 or something like that. So, or maybe $349. So for right at $350, $400 after ship. Let's say $400 after shipping, because Frank's charges like $30 for shipping. So $400, you get basically the same boot as Nick's gives you, as JK gives you, because JK and Nick's do not utilize the McKay stitch on their boots. They've deemed it unnecessary. Really, it's a time-saving measure. It's simply a time-saving measure. And yeah, and a lot of their boots are doing just fine. They're lasting a long time, but it's a weak point. It's a point in the boot that affects the last of the boot over a long period of time. And really, the only difference is Frank is using leathers that are kind of get bruised up during the whole process of going to a tannery, all that other stuff. Maybe the cow had some sort of bruising on it, so the leather might not be the leather is still high quality. It's just a high quality. It's just as high quality leather as their regular T1 Commanders and T2s and so on and so forth, the work leather. But let's say the cow, something happened to a hip that happened to a piece of leather. Well, instead of using that piece of leather on the T1s or the T2s, or even throwing it away altogether, what Frank's is doing is just putting them on this boot. And other companies such as Red Wing, Thorogood, Danner, they do that too. But they sand the leather down so much you won't even know. So really, what you're having here is a complete full thickness leather that might have some bruising on it, versus other leathers, they'll just sand it down to basically paper thin. So, that's what it is. And they're not doing a McKay stitch on here, but that is really the only thing that they're coming down with on it. Now, the boot I'm going to be comparing the Frank's Patriots to is the Danner Super Rainforest. I have a bad habit of, if I don't like something, I continue crapping on it, and this is really going to be the last video that these boots are featured in. I don't think that this boot deserves as much of a hype as it has gotten, or it doesn't even really deserve how much I'm talking about it on this on camera. Once again, this is not my favorite boot. I think it's really overpriced at $450 retail, but you can pick this up anywhere between $450 and $350 all day long. Just wait for a sale, a Father's Day sale, Labor Day sale, something like that. Black Friday, you can pick these up for $350. I actually picked these up for $345. Just check Baker's Boots, the Danner website. Heck, you can find these pretty much all over the place. And like I said, some weak points on this boot. They're charging, and let's just say $400, splitting the difference between $450 and $350. So for $400, you're getting a complete rubber and polyurethane midsole. You know, you're having a rubber outsole, but pure polyurethane, rubber, plastic mix, foam. That's this. You see, you have the outsole. It has like a double midsole, but one is, it goes, you know, basically the outsole on this is rock hard. It goes rock hard, not as hard, and basically almost like foam. And this boot just feels unnecessarily heavy on the foot because it's really not a substantial boot. You know, yeah, it doesn't really flex this way, and yeah, it doesn't really flex this way. And the arch support on this is definitely nowhere near the arch support on these. And the thing is that with Frank's boots, it's not just a logger heel. A lot of boots will just have a logger heel, and it puts a lot of weight on the ball of your feet. In here, Frank has worked up leather here with the arch, in the arch of your foot. That way that your weight is evenly distributed from your heel, the arch in your foot, the ball, and the toe. The weight is evenly distributed all the way across your foot. Whereas with these, a lot of weight is put on the heel and the ball and toe of your foot. There's not much arch support. And this boot is, the last is like a 610 last or something like that. I think the Danner Queries gives you more arch support personally. That's just my opinion. You can go for a, and you probably could put an insert in here to help with the arch, but I'm not for that because over time they really break down. And when I say over time, I mean just in a few months, really. Within 6 months, you're going to have to take that insert out. You're going to have to take that removable insole out and add a new one in there to get more arch support. And I'm just not about that. If I'm paying $400 for a pair of boots, I don't want to have to spend $50 to $60 more on an insert. So let's say if you did pay full price for them, $450 plus, you know, $60. That's $510. For $510, you might as well spend $70 more and get a Type 2 or a Type 1 Commander from Frank's. If you're going with this route, really overpriced. It almost pisses me off, honestly, because this boot here, yeah, these are both left. The Frank's, I feel like, is such a superior boot to the Danner Super Rainforest. And oh wow, it's funny how they look so different, which it really goes to the heel. Let's see here. Oh wow, the Danner's is longer, much longer, but there we go. The Danner is longer. The Danner is a 10.5 E or double E. I can't remember. I had to look. And then the Frank's is a 9.5 double E. But we can see where the arch takes up. The arch shortens where the high heel is. It shortens up your foot length, so you don't need as longer or as long of a boot. That's why I always, you know, talk about the going down the size. Yeah, these are a 10.5. These are 10.5 double E. Or are they? These are either a 10.5 E or a 10.5 double E. But like I said, personally, I think the Franks is a superior boot. They're utilizing leather. Franks is utilizing leather in the midsole. Danner is not. The Danner is longer, but oh my God, the Franks is just. Let's see here. The Franks is just so much. See, let's do this. But the Franks is just so much taller. This is a 10-inch boot. This is an 8-inch boot. But the Franks, it just looks so much taller. And you see, look how the Franks has kept its. Yeah, you got this, kind of folding here. But look, the Franks has really kept its stack quite nice. Whereas the Danner, and I have more time on the Franks than I actually do the Danner. I've had the Danners longer, but I've wore the Franks more. And just look at this. Look at how it's kind of collapsed here. I mean, you gotta, I don't know. It's almost, I don't know. It's really a waste of money. And then I've ended up giving these boots away to my girlfriend. And she really doesn't have a need for a boot. So she's actually giving them to her dad. Giving them, he's never wore them because I was in a crutch one day and had to wear these boots. The only benefit to these boots is they are waterproof. Whereas, like I said, it rained all night. And that's the difference. This is even though it is on their less expensive economy boot. And there is a couple little spots on these, just a couple, some that so you wouldn't even notice it unless you was really going over it. This leather is high quality, and it's thick, and it's a nice tight grain leather. So it's almost does it to itself to be waterproof, and then when you keep it properly conditioned, wax some sort of protectant on it. They make actually a waterproof spray protectant. I haven't used it yet because I haven't really needed to. But when you go about and do stuff like that, it helps. Now, don't get me wrong. Towards the end of the morning, well, actually, it is a little bit damp in here. Towards the end of the morning, I could definitely tell that these boots were getting kind of wet. But 8 hours and nothing but straight rain, and then they finally start there towards the end, start getting a little damp on the inside. I call it a win. I mean, for these boots not being waterproof, whereas these boots here are waterproof. Let me change this back. Where these boots here are waterproof. Now the thing is, it has the liner, and then the Gore-Tex behind it, and then so on and so forth. But here's the thing: if it's not raining, your feet are going to sweat in these. That's just how it is. Your feet are going to sweat in these more than they are the Franks. So you're just going to have to make the decision. Let's say if you're working, and like I said, what I want to reiterate is the big downfall is this sole. Vibram, I don't know how they've got away with this hard of a sole. It is hard. If you're walking on steel, anything wet, any snow, I would not recommend wearing these boots. If you do not have a high arch in your foot, and here's the thing: I try to give credit where credit is due and help people understand. Even though that this is a really good priced boot, you might not need this heavy duty of a boot. This boot is much more heavy duty than this boot is. This boot is just unnecessarily heavy. I'd say the Franks probably does weigh a little bit more, but this boot is just unnecessarily heavy. And maybe you like it. Maybe you just like the look of this boot. Maybe you like that borderlining Doc Marten British work boot style boot. You're just an edgy girl or you're an edgy guy. Maybe you ride your motorcycle. If you ride a motorcycle, I'd say these boots are just fine for you. If you're a construction worker and you think that you need waterproof boots and you don't need the heel if you have a low arch, then yeah, 100%. I just go by this. But now once again, the price. I would recommend the Danner Query over these boots. And I would like to add that the Patriot gives so much more support compared to the Danner Super Rainforest. There's just so much more support in this boot. We actually went walking around. Me and my little brother, we walked probably about 3 or 4 miles one day, and I was wearing these, and my ankles were killing me by the time I got done. We were walking on blacktop and stuff, but on these boots, I've walked several miles on rocks, ballast, so on and so forth, and I've never had an issue. Never really have. So, it is what it is. I've been waiting for this this comparison for a long time, because these boots are literally in the same price range. They're both black boots. They're both Pacific Northwest boots, actually. Danner is made in Oregon. That's considered the Pacific Northwest. Portland, Oregon, I believe. So, these boots are in the same price range. If you're contemplating the Danner Super Rainforest and you want something a little bit more substantial, something a little bit more heavy duty than the Quarry, I would recommend the Patriot, the Frank's Patriot. Go on Frank's website, look up how to size your boots. Call Frank's, talk to them. Tell them, the other boots, what sizes fit you. And, I recommend take a chance. Take a chance with these boots. Follow the break-in procedure that Frank's gives. Talk to him about it. Get on the Frank's community Facebook page. Get in the Pacific Northwest Uncensored group. Really get in there. If you're serious about having good, hardcore, long-lasting footwear, I would recommend doing it, personally. If you're a Red Wing guy, if you're a Thorogood guy, and you're spending $250 to $300 on a pair of boots anyway, spend the extra $100 on some Frank's Patriots. If you have a high arch and you like a logger heel, I would definitely recommend it. I would 110% recommend it, actually. These Frank's Patriots have changed. And this is not a nut-hugging video for the Patriots, and it's not a review of the Patriots. But these Frank's Patriots have changed me going from saying that this is a great boot to this is not really a great boot. To me, thinking that the Danner Quarry is the end-all, be-all of hardcore work, of not necessarily hardcore, but just of work boots. And the And the Danner Quarry is a really good work boot. I'll stand by that till the day I die. The Danner Quarry is a great work boot. But I think this is better. I think this is better for me. This is better for my line of work. And if you have a high arch in your foot like me, if I go barefoot for too long and I'm just walking throughout the house, it literally feels like my foot is pulling itself apart. I have an extremely high arch in my foot. So really, I have to have a boot that has a high arch in it. And if you're like me, then I would completely recommend this. If you have a low arch, and to say you really do not like logger heels, you really do not like boots that have a high arch, then I would kind of recommend this. Like I said, I think the Danner Quarry is better than this. But I would recommend this. Let's say, you like this style of boot. You want this boot. You don't care to spend the money. I don't think there's anything wrong with this boot. It is a stitched-down construction boot. It is waterproof. It is Danner. They have a good warranty. It's going to be a strong, long-lasting boot. There's guys at work that's had these boots for years and have had no issues. But for me, I don't think it's the best boot. That's just me. That's just my opinion. But after almost 20 minutes of rambling on, saying the same things, time to go. Hope this review is helpful. I hope it helps you with your footwear needs. There's nothing more miserable than being at work and walking around for hours on a pair of boots or a pair of shoes that you do not like, that is not comfortable. So I, myself, know exactly how that feels. Oh, one more thing I would like to add. Not sure if it's because these are rolled top or where it lands, but I really had to massage and play with this back here. And it might be because, I don't know if it's just, with all the leather and stuff being back here, with adding the pull loop, or just maybe how the boot is. But on the back here, this really dug into the back of my leg. But I oiled it, conditioned it for a couple days in a row, and really just went here and was massaging it like that, and got it to where it was comfortable and broke in. So, you know, it is what it is. And I would like to add that there was some hot spots on the top of my right foot. This is a left foot. There was some spots right in through here on my right foot. And it's just because it needs broken in. This is, high, a lot of laces. And also my right foot has a little bit of an abnormality in it, so that's what it is too. So hope everyone has a great day. See you all later.